When people hear the name Bismarck Battleship, they immediately think of raw power, heavy steel armor, giant naval guns, and one of the most famous warships ever built. But the 2026 Bismarck Battleship takes that legendary identity and reimagines it for the modern age. This is not simply an old battleship with fresh paint or upgraded electronics. It is a complete redesign that blends historic intimidation with advanced naval engineering, stealth systems, autonomous support technology, and the kind of firepower that makes people stop and stare. In today's video, we are going to break down what makes the 2026 Bismarck Battleship so special, how it performs, what it looks like, and why it stands out in a world dominated by aircraft carriers, destroyers, and submarines. Whether you love military history or just enjoy cutting-edge machines, this ship has something impressive to offer. At first glance, the design of the 2026 Bismarck Battleship immediately tells you this vessel means business. The hull is long, aggressive, and low profile, with sharp lines that help reduce radar detection. Traditional battleships of the past were massive floating fortresses with huge towers and exposed structures. This modern version keeps the muscular presence but smooths out the surfaces, integrates the bridge into the superstructure, and uses angled armor plating to lower visibility. It still has the unmistakable silhouette of a battleship, but now it looks cleaner, smarter, and far more advanced. Think of it as a classic heavyweight boxer who has also become faster, more tactical, and more dangerous. The dimensions alone are enough to impress. The 2026 Bismarck stretches over 300 meters in length, making it one of the largest combat ships in service. Its displacement pushes beyond 70,000 tons fully loaded, giving it the stability and internal volume needed for fuel, ammunition, aircraft systems, drones, crew facilities, and layered defense systems. Despite that enormous size, modern propulsion technology helps it move with surprising speed. Unlike old steam-driven warships, this version uses a hybrid nuclear-electric propulsion system. That means nearly unlimited operational range, quieter movement, lower maintenance needs, and the ability to generate huge amounts of electrical power for sensors, weapons, and future upgrades. Performance is where the 2026 Bismarck becomes truly interesting. A vessel this large would normally be expected to move slowly, but advanced propulsion and waterjet-assisted maneuvering systems allow it to reach speeds of around 32 knots. That is fast for something of this size. More importantly, it accelerates more smoothly and turns more effectively than many people would expect. AI-assisted navigation systems constantly monitor sea conditions, enemy threats, and optimal movement patterns. In simple terms, the ship does not just move through water, it thinks while doing it. This makes it harder to track, harder to target, and more efficient during long deployments. Now let's talk about the firepower, because that is where the battleship name earns its respect. The 2026 Bismarck keeps heavy gun armament, but modernizes everything. Instead of purely old-style cannons, it features two triple-barrel electromagnetic railgun turrets mounted forward and one aft. These weapons use magnetic force rather than traditional explosives to launch projectiles at hypersonic speed. That means longer range, greater penetration, and faster strike times. Targets hundreds of kilometers away can be engaged with extreme precision. For viewers who prefer simple language, imagine artillery that hits harder, faster, farther, and more accurately than anything from the old battleship era. Alongside the railguns, the ship carries vertical launch missile cells spread beneath armored deck sections. These cells can fire anti-ship missiles, cruise missiles for land attack, long-range air defense interceptors, and anti-submarine rockets. This gives the Bismarck flexibility that classic battleships never had. It can strike enemy fleets, defend allied ships, support troops ashore, and hunt underwater threats, all from one platform. Instead of being built for one kind of war, this ship is built for many scenarios. Close-range defense is equally serious. Modern threats often come from drones, sea-skimming missiles, or swarm attacks. To counter that, the 2026 Bismarck uses multiple laser defense turrets, rapid-fire cannon systems, electronic jammers, and decoy launchers. If an incoming missile gets too close, the ship has several layers ready to stop it. This layered defense concept is critical today because no single weapon can guarantee protection. The Bismarck does not rely on one shield, it uses many shields at once. Armor has always been central to battleship identity, and this vessel respects that tradition. Instead of relying only on thick steel, it uses a composite armor system combining hardened steel, ceramic layers, reactive materials, and internal shock absorption structures. In practical terms, it is designed to survive hits that would cripple lighter warships. Critical systems like reactors, magazines, and command centers are buried deep within armored sections. Damage control robots and automated fire suppression systems can also react within seconds if a compartment is breached. So while many modern ships prioritize speed and sensors over toughness, the Bismarck brings survivability back into focus. Another standout feature is aviation support. The rear deck includes a compact flight zone for helicopters, tilt-rotor aircraft, and reconnaissance drones. These aircraft extend the ship's eyes and ears far beyond the horizon. Drones can scout enemy positions, detect submarines, assess battle damage, or even carry precision munitions. Helicopters can handle rescue missions, anti-submarine patrols, and logistics transport. This means the Bismarck is not fighting alone, it fights as the center of a connected ecosystem. Inside the ship, the technology is just as advanced as the weapons outside. The command center uses panoramic digital displays, AI-assisted tactical software, and encrypted communications linked to satellites, aircraft, submarines, and allied fleets. Captains no longer rely on binoculars and paper maps. Every threat, weather pattern, and friendly unit can be tracked in real time. Crew workload is also reduced through automation. While historical battleships needed thousands of sailors, the 2026 Bismarck operates with a crew of around 900, supported by robotics and smart maintenance systems. That lower crew count reduces costs while improving efficiency. Crew comfort may not sound exciting, but on long deployments it matters a lot. The ship includes modern sleeping quarters, fitness facilities, medical centers, climate-controlled living spaces, and better food service systems than warships of the past. A more rested and healthier crew performs better under pressure. In real-world naval operations, morale can be just as important as machinery. One of the most unique selling points of the 2026 Bismarck battleship is psychological presence. Aircraft carriers are powerful, submarines are stealthy, destroyers are versatile, but a battleship projects fear in a different way. When a heavily armored giant armed with railguns and missile batteries enters a region, it sends a message instantly. It becomes both a military asset and a symbol of power. Sometimes deterrence means preventing conflict before it starts, and few ships do that better than something this imposing. Of course, it is not perfect. A ship this size would be incredibly expensive to build and maintain. It would also become a high-value target in any major conflict. Critics would argue that smaller distributed fleets, submarines, and aircraft offer better value. That is a fair point. But supporters would say the Bismarck combines strike power, defense, endurance, and command capability in one survivable platform. In a crisis where flexibility matters, that combination can be priceless. Another strength is upgrade potential. Because of its massive power generation and internal space, the ship can adapt over time. New missile systems, stronger lasers, drone hangars, cyber warfare suites, or even future-directed energy cannons could be added later. Many warships age quickly as technology changes, but the 2026 Bismarck is designed as a long-term platform with room to evolve. From a visual standpoint, this is also one of the most dramatic warships ever imagined.